And welcome once again to Small Business Connections, the webcast that helps small business connect person to person and Zoom to Zoom in this current situation we have, but generally to connect. And Small Business Connections are all about what we do, and they're all about succeeding in business, making good connections to prospects, clients, and colleagues. I do this webcast with Peter Kelly, and there he is. He's just smiling there and waving. The beard is looking good. Have you had it?
COVID hair is getting a little out of control, but the beard's coming along nicely.
How long since your last haircut?
Ooh, I think it's been 8 weeks now, 9 weeks.
Okay. Oh, it's looking good. It's looking good. Very 80s, I think. Anyway, I don't have to worry about that. You know, I'm just fine. It's always good here. I've got my own razor. I just like that. And our guest today obviously has a razor, does his own hair. And we have with us today Norm Lang. Welcome, Norm, to the program.
Thank you, Bruce. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so we're just going to start out, Norm, and just tell our viewers a little bit about what you do. You are a financial planner, and there's a lot of people call themselves financial planners. There's quite a range of services offered. Where's your expertise really in that realm?
I'm an insurance financial advisor, and my motto is I love helping people move from the majority to the minority. I help my prospects and clients go from the majority who don't have their insurance, estate, or retirement figured out to the minority who have it all in order and sleep better at night because of it. So I specialize more in the financial security business. And that's, you know, financial security for yourself and your family today when you're here and in retirement, and later on financial security for your family when you're not. I position myself more as your insurance and guaranteed income guy. That person who will guarantee your lifestyle and legacy. So that's my main focus of my business.
So it's, would you say the main benefit is that the person will be able to sleep at night?
The main benefit is creating a greater peace of mind.
Yeah.
And not wondering what would happen if. And, you know, being able to sleep at night knowing that you've got a plan in place for your working years and in retirement.
Okay. Now, when you say the majority don't have this, is that backed up by any statistics by the Insurance Bureau or anybody like that? Is that what you've discovered over the years?
Well, that's what I've discovered over 25 years in the business is that, you know, like the main issue is most people don't have their essential financial security handled. And what I talk about is basic primary financial care. And we're not doing the basics. You know, everybody's got a financial advisor, but, you know, when you really look at it, you know, we don't have adequate life insurance. You know, in this low interest rate environment, most of us are underinsured, you know, keeping their, you know, and their families short, or, you know, cash in the bank for, you know, emergency fund. And, you know, we have to weather that unexpected financial storm that we're encountering right now. And the biggest thing is, you know, wills and power of attorney. And you'd be surprised, at least 60% of Canadians don't have that in order. They don't have a will. And we talk about, you know, powers of you know, attorney over, you know, property and personal care. You know, you bump your head and you have a mortgage and your wife wants to go renew the mortgage and you can't sign. You've got, you know, big issues in renewing, you know, your mortgage. So the answer for me is simple. You've really got to review your financial situation, look at your insurance, estate, and retirement plans, and, you know, highlight any of the gaps. And we can look at filling those. And what I've created is a presentation called What Would You Have If Money Were No Object? And it's a 7-point financial plan that changes the way you think about your financial future. And what I've discovered over the years is that protecting your family and your lifestyle is simpler and easier than you may think. You just have to know the shortcuts. So that's really, you know, what I'm about is making sure people have their primary, you know, care, financial care covered, and that they can get on with the day-to-day realities of life.
Oh, that's great, or very well explained. It sounds a bit like that you are more holistic in your approach. You're not in the business of selling insurance. You're in business of assuring an overall coverage for the entire life of the person now and in the future, and also alerting them to things that they may not even know that are missing, right? So they come to you and they're moving to this minority of people who actually have bothered to spend some time with someone like you.
That's what I find with most people. They're oblivious, they're unaware. That's not their field of business. And what I try and do is, first of all, educate them on what's available and see what's best for their situation.
Right.
And every
Now,
situation.
sorry to interrupt you, but do you charge for that, or does your payment come from commissions later?
Most of it's commission. I can charge an hourly rate, but usually I get a commission with, from, the company I put you with.
So people don't need to be afraid of calling you and having an initial consultation. There'll be no obligation, no cost. You can just have a chat with you. Is that it?
Yeah, the first visit, is at my expense.
Right.
And, we can discuss things. I'm a, low-key advisor, thorough, but low-key and, not high pressure that, I give you all the information. And if we can, get along, we can work together.
How are you handling this situation with COVID? We're doing this webcast right now to support authentic networking and the networking efforts we've been doing, Peter and I. We can't actually meet in person at this point. So are you offering up Zoom calls to your prospects at this point? Yeah,
what I've been doing is, reaching out to my clients and offering 2 Zoom calls. And the first one is what I mentioned earlier. What would you have if money were no object? It's a great 30-minute, it goes through, primary financial care, the essential planning pyramid, how you should plan. And it ends up with the 5 most important questions for financial security. So that really sums up, what 90% of people need to be looking at. In addition, I've created another seminar. I used to do lunch and learns at a local restaurant. And you can't do that anymore. And that's a retirement seminar. It's called Don't Worry, Retire Happy. And it's been very well received.
I think I've heard a song, something like that, haven't I?
Yeah. But it's a great presentation. It talks about, how to optimize your retirement portfolio, the happy factor of, money you can't outlive, and the math, science, and economics behind the optimal way to retire. So that's been a very, great presentation, and that's the focus of my, retirement business.
So before we run out of time today, Norm, I want to make sure I ask you a question, which Peter and I consider really important. Do you have one piece of very practical advice that our viewers could think on and maybe act on that would make a difference in their life?
Well, I think one of the first things you should look at, for small, business owners is, protecting their personal and business life. And
how do you do that?
Making sure that the, owners don't commingle, their personal and business affairs. A lot of people, will take a second mortgage on the house for the business, or do simple things as not have a business bank account. And especially in today's environment, we need an extra layer of protection. You can have your, a great business today, and through no fault of your own, tomorrow the business is closed. Seen that today. So what you want is a firewall in place that, if your business falls apart, your personal, affairs will stay in order. And what I recommend there is just structuring your personal assets and insurance so they wouldn't be lost if your business, failed.
All right. When I started in business many years ago, the first piece of advice I got was, I said, should I incorporate? And the lawyer said, no, my accountant or lawyer, whatever, just said, no, you're not big enough. You're a sole proprietorship. All I want you to do is go to the bank and open a business bank account and never put anything personal in there and never put any of your business stuff in your personal account. And if we're ever audited, they'll ask for the business account and the other's none of their business. I mean, they can legally ask for it, but if everything's cool there, everything is on the up and up, and all your income and expenses are coming out of that account. So that's a great point. All right, I think that's all we have the time for today, but I appreciate you coming on the program, and we'll be putting up contact information here below your video so that people can get in touch with you. And I want to remind our viewers, you can speak to Norm on Zoom or telephone, whatever you prefer, for a 30-minute, no obligation, confidential, and no cost initial consultation. And that would get you in a place where you know what you need.